Coming up next, I love when I get to review products that I don't want to send back. This is the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, a premium Android tablet that I've really enjoyed using. I give you my full review coming up now.
This is TWiT.
All right, so about a month ago, I got this here tablet. It is the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 Plus 5G. Actually, the folks at AT&T sent this my way through an AT&T SIM into it, which, you know, of any of the tablets that I've ever owned, I've never had like a SIM plan, but it is really nice to like have a SIM, a SIM card inside of a tablet for when you go traveling and stuff like that. This is the 12 gig RAM and 256 gigs of storage version of the tablet. And so I've been using it, and I know that it's been about a month because I can tell you when I go into the camera, and let's see here, I don't need location. I don't like to have location. And if I go to some of the earlier photos, it's my puppy, which I can't help but show pictures of. And I'm telling you, he's like twice that size now in like a month. I looked at these pictures as I was getting ready for this review, and I was like, oh my God, he is so much bigger than that now. It's just kind of blowing my mind. But anyways, we'll talk about the cameras in a second. This is the design of the tablet. And I have to say, this is not the only S9 or Galaxy series kind of premium Samsung tablet that I've used before. I've reviewed a lot of their premium offerings on their tablets, and my opinion is if you're looking for an Android specific tablet and you want some of the best out there, this is where you go. Samsung's Galaxy Tab, kind of their premium lineup this year being the S9. This is the S9 Plus, and then you can get the S9 Ultra, which has even better specs and even more features. I'm not reviewing that today, though. I'm just reviewing the Plus. Still a very worthy competitor against even the Ultra. This thing has been a beauty for me to use, and you can see the design. It's got a very like thin but durable design, aluminum sides all around. The back of the device, you see the camera layout is a little different from last year's. It really matches, the individual little camera lenses popping out, matches the look of the current iteration of phones. So the design between the phones and the tablets really match. You can see this little area on the back here. That is for your S Pen. I'm happy to say the S Pen actually ships in the box, and you can snap that back there. Now it's not like embedded into the device. If they did that, this device would be a lot thicker. It just would be, but the magnet's pretty solid, and when it's attached there, it is charging. You can hardly see it probably on the overhead, but here, let me get the do the fingerprint sensor, of which there is one, as you saw there. But up at the very top, you don't need to zoom in or anything, but I promise you one of those icons is a little pen, and essentially that is charging. That's what's happening there. It is sending charge from the tablet to the S Pen to keep it charged, and it does not take very long to do that. But the design itself, it's pretty solid. You've got your USB-C port down the bottom, dual speakers on both sides. And I actually have to say the speakers are very loud. They're actually 20% larger from last year's speakers in the tablet then. So that's nice. They're still going to be kind of thin and a little empty. You're not getting any booming, qualities out of it because they're tiny little speakers, but they do sound better. This has, for the first time, IP68 water resistance. So you could soak this in water for up to 30 minutes, according to the IP68 rating. I did not do that. I'm not going to do that to AT&T's review unit. I will take their word for it. But nonetheless, if you find yourself in a wet environment, this tablet is going to be protected a lot more just inherently because of the IP68 rating. The buttons on the top, they feel solid. They pop out just enough for it to feel, kind of intact and not loosey and kind of squishy or anything like that. They're very solid feeling. This is where the SIM card tray exists. So design-wise, I mean, it's pretty simple slate. Not even a rounded display. It's very flat. and that allows it to be very thin. So it really does just fit into the bag really nicely. Has a little bit of kind of like a sharp edge to it. I mean, they've what do they call that? I guess they've rounded it a little bit. I don't know that it's necessarily chamfered, which is a word I enjoy saying. But it does, if you're kind of holding it into your wrists as you're watching something, the kind of edges of the tablet do have a tendency to kind of dig in a little bit. It wasn't horrible, but it's just something to keep in mind. Some people really prefer kind of the more rounded edges of other devices. The display itself is a 12.4-inch dynamic AMOLED. It can ramp between 60 hertz to 120 hertz refresh, depending on the content, depending on what you're looking at. And so that's very nice. Did you know that the piranha often feared as a bloodthirsty killer? Okay, so you can see, things kind of scroll smoothly when you're on YouTube. In other apps, as I've been scrolling through, I don't get that kind of like herky-jerky quality that I do see on some pieces of hardware. So the display, like the colors are nice. It's a narrow display, as you see here. It's 16 by 10, so it's not book-like what you might get out of the iPad, right? It's definitely a little bit more geared for media consumption. So YouTube works, really well from that regard when I'm not watching an ad. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and skip that, and we can go ahead and jump to the full screen. And I could probably even improve the quality, because I don't think that it's automatically doing that, but I'm not. Oh, there we go. Hold on. Let me see if I get that here. Quality. Yeah, it's auto to 360. Let's just go higher quality. And did it even snap over? I don't even know this. Oh, there we go. It snapped into place now. Okay. Anyways, sometimes display quality is hard to show on a live stream because we're already filtering through cameras and everything to get to your display. But I can say, like, the brightness of this display when I'm outside was wonderful. I had this outside playing Fallout Shelter quite a bit, and it was ample brightness for the outside light, the daylight light. Performance-wise, you got the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor in here, and fast enough for everything that I was throwing at it. I really could not be slowed down by this, which is to be expected for Samsung's premium hardware. It has a 10,090 milliamp hour battery with 45-watt wired charging. I found this to have excellent battery life. It actually survived pretty much all of my trip to Boise. And I was there almost a week ago, or for a week, a few weeks ago, but for a week, and I was using this thing like crazy. I don't know why it's taken so long to load this particular level, but I think that's probably more on Fallout Shelter than that is the tablet itself. But I found the battery life to be wonderful through that use. It also charges really fast. This thing has a vapor chamber inside, so that's for two-way heat dissipation. So when you're playing an intensive game or doing a lot of multitasking and stuff, like, I never felt the tablet actually heat up and get warm, which I do detect with some tablets. And then, just so you know, like I said, this does have 5G connectivity, which came in really handy. This is the only version, the only variant to have that. So if you're getting the S9, the Tab S9 or the Tab S9 Ultra, you're not going to have the ability to do the 5G with the SIM card, but you can with the Plus. So that's definitely a bonus for this particular hardware. Samsung's One UI, it's One UI 5.1. It's kind of a known quantity at this point, at least if you've used Samsung in the last couple of years. You know that Samsung has, I feel like they have really kind of stepped up their game in, yes, still offering a lot of the kind of bonus features and stuff that that they're known for, but also just kind of, after a short break-in period, getting out of the way. Like, I haven't been nagged on this tablet nearly as much as I sometimes complain about when setting up new Samsung devices. A little bit here and there, but for the most part, the UI offers more while still kind of getting out of the way when need be. And, some of the like multitasking options. Let's see here. Let's go to YouTube. I can, open that in split screen mode, have something else over here. Maybe it's a calculator. I don't know why I'd need to pull up a calculator, but you can do some of these kind of things that from a multitasking perspective that I actually really enjoyed doing on the Z Fold that I reviewed like a month ago. And, the tablet kind of layout allows you to do that. And a big part of that is what Samsung has done with One UI to enable that. As far as updates are concerned, you get 4 years of OS updates, 5 years of security. That was kind of the top of the heap. And I guess officially still is, but the rumor is that next week with Google's Pixel announcement that they are going to offer up to 7 years of updates. So it'll be interesting to see if Samsung ups its game. I mean, I feel like the hardware and the software inside would be capable of stepping up to that next level, but we'll leave that to Samsung to determine. I was just showing the cameras, and I kind of showed you a little bit of the camera roll. I'll be honest, when I use tablets, I rarely ever take pictures, so I didn't really put the cameras through its paces as much as someone who really uses the cameras on their tablet might. I always, and I think rightfully so, when I really kind of blew up some of the pictures that I did take on this device, they look fine, but there was nothing really to write home about. Some of, you get a little bit of that kind of blown out texture when you are in ample light. I mean, it might look good when you're zoomed out, but then when you start zooming in, you start to see kind of the image breakdown, and in ways that I'm not used to seeing when I look at my Pixel images and really kind of scrutinize some of the detail that is found in there. This is more like the wide angle lens on the back, and this is the standard. So you can see a little bit of the depth dimension, the difference between what they're able to capture. This is me surrounded by a tree giving a face, but this is the front-facing camera to give you a sense of kind of what you're capable of getting out of the front-facing camera as well. And it's fine. It has a camera. It's serviceable. It's fine. The images definitely do not stand up to the quality that I'm used to seeing on their phones. A little bit of kind of like hazy quality at times. But I've seen a heck of a lot worse when it comes to cameras on tablets. And so I think, for a camera on a tablet, it's fine. It's just not amazing. I think overall for Android, like I said, Samsung's premium tablets, in my opinion, are the ones to beat. I always really enjoy when I get my hands on Samsung's latest kind of premium tablet offering. This was no different. I really enjoyed using this tablet, and I'm sad that I had to return it because I just really loved it. It is pricey, though, and that is kind of the big thing about Samsung's top-of-the-line hardware, and especially with their tablets. Like, this configuration is $1,149. So you're paying a pretty penny to get this premium tablet experience on Android, and that's going to turn some people away. Like, some people, whether it's fair or not, some people are going to go, well, why would I spend almost $1,200 on an Android tablet when I can get a better tablet with with like the iPad Pro or whatever perspective they're coming from. And I don't know. I think that's just a determination you have to make whether $1,200, almost $1,200 for a large format Android tablet is worth it to you. It's a fantastic piece of hardware. I actually really like it a lot. I don't know that I would spend $1,200 or $1,150 out of pocket for this tablet. Like, maybe if it was like right around $999, maybe I'd be more inclined with that. But man, passing, I don't know what it is, but passing that $1,000 mark and going into the 4 digits makes it harder for me. But it's great hardware. You got that update promise. Hopefully that expands at some point and Samsung opens that up. But I mean, even if it's just 5 years, I think the hardware and the software capabilities inside this tablet give it a nice bit of life if you're spending $1,150. $1,150 for it. So that is the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 Plus. 5G. Thank you to AT&T for sending me this review unit. And, if you have the opportunity, check it out for yourself and see what you think about kind of premium Android tablet experience.
Listeners of this program get an ad-free version if they're members of Club TWiT. $7 a month gives you ad-free versions of all of our shows, plus membership in the Club TWiT Discord, a great clubhouse for TWiT listeners. And finally, the TWiT Plus feed with shows like Stacy's Book Club, The Untitled Linux Show, The Giz Fizz, and more. Go to twit.tv/clubtwit. And thanks for your support.